So today we'll be painting a red wing blackbird, and this is the picture right there. And I start off by drawing the bird where I want it, and then I'm going to make the weeds and the bulrushes come up to the bird. It's a lot easier that way than going bottom up and trying to figure it out from that perspective. So we start off by putting nice, green. I'm doing a green sky here, leaving some room for waves and ripples. Then I go a little darker with brown, like pale, sort of a beigey brown, and painting it in. I'm using a big round brush for this particular one. And I go another layer, it's a lot of bold layers watercolor. And you just go back and forth. Don't do short little strokes, but long, bold strokes. It looks a lot better. Here's some more blue-green, sort of a pea soup effect, if you may. I'm just testing the color there on the outside. That's what the blue, that's what the pencil line is for. It tells me, it gives me an edge and gives me a place to test my color. And the greens here would be, sap green would be one of the ones I'd use, and the blues would be a little bit of cerulean blue. Using a piece of paper here to dry it, I forgot to bring up my hair blower, but that's what I typically use to dry my paintings between each layer. And I just use a piece of cardboard to use it as a fan. And the little picture above is, of course, the reference what we're aiming for here. So when that's all dry, you start using what's called a rigger brush. That's a long-haired, thin brush. It allows you to do these long strands of bulrushes quite easily. And I mostly work from bottom up. I see I did one down there. Pretty straightforward. Keep them all pretty even without creating a pattern. That'd be the worst thing you can do. Throw a few random ones in. I don't want it to be too perfect because it's a little boring that way. So now I'm filling in the bottom, giving it some body. Gives the bulrushes a place to, to where they came from, a base, so to speak. Pretty straightforward, nothing special here. There's no certain way you have to do it. I'm using a brush and one stroke to do the bulrush, fruit of the bulrush, so to speak, the flower. I'll also apply that dark color in the base to help offset the contrast. Here I'm using a mall stick because the piece underneath me is wet. So you'd use a mall stick to bridge the area and be able to paint over it without getting your hand all wet. When I paint, I rest my hand on the paper. I don't paint from above. A number of my friends, they all paint above. I find that not as comfortable. I'm all about comfort. I'm doing some splattering, get some other colors in there. I know I splattered a little bit of red, so it's not too bad. And you just keep adding to it. More splatter at the bottom. Splattering really loosens up the painting. It really gives it some detail, some roughness. So it's not too perfect and not too clean. It really creates a nice effect. I splatter all my paintings. That's probably one of the last things I do before I'm done my painting. Here's using a bridge again. This time we're doing the bird, the Red Wing Blackbird. It resides in southwestern Ontario in the Essex County area where I'm from here. It's a pretty regular bird that frequents the area quite well. Easy to find. It's an attractive bird where it's flying because the wings are very colorful. What I'll typically do is go darker and darker on that bird. Right now he's a little light, but I put a first coat on there. Then I put a second coat, which makes it even darker. Little beak on that guy, little feet, little detail on the bottom of the bulrushes, or the cattail, some people call them. Makes for a nice little composition too. It's a simple painting to do. I would say any level of artist could do this, from beginner to experienced. And I rarely look at the photograph for reference. I rarely do that. I use it as a guide, but that's about it. Because you're never going to get those strokes equal to a photograph. And actually, if it looks like a photograph, you might as well just take a photograph. Whereas I'm doing a pretty light rendition here. So I'm adding a bit of white gouache to throw in some ripples in the water. And it took away my reference, so it's a nice deep painting. The top half is completely bare. So enjoy your eyes drawn towards the bottom where the bird's at. And that's about it. Thank you.